Good day and welcome to today's class. We're going to continue from where we stopped in the last class. So let's go to the AutoCAD straight. I've already opened my AutoCAD. We'll come to Start button. So we'll come to Start on top of your visual controls. Once we click on Start, now I've explained this environment to us before. So I'll now look for the last class that we had. I called it class 1 and 3. Our last class was class 3, so I'll open so that we'll continue from there. Now let me also open our table so that we'll have a guide to where we stopped in our last class. So let's go to the table of content that we're gradually following. So I'm trying to open it in it was in Microsoft Word that I did that. So let's open so that we can have a continuous class, right? So I hope you did you did some practice. Yes, this was where we are. We stopped at array, and I said we should go. Okay, we did array. We've done polyline. We are going to start with construction line today. We're starting with construction line. Then we move further to the fourth. So sorry, I'm going to be a little bit fast so that we'll be able to achieve a lot today. And I believe by now you're already conversant with the study. Thank you. So let's come back. Let's talk about polyline. I taught us how to pan. So I just want to review what we did last. We stopped here using the polyline. So I'm going to open a new drawing now. So I'll come to File and come to New. You remember we did this using a wizard. So I'll click OK and select Absolute for precision, just next, and then finish. So now we're in a new slate. So the construction line in AutoCAD is a tool that draws line from infinity to infinity. Now you come to draw your menu bar, you click, you see construction line, right? Well, once we select the construction line, you look at your command line. In your command line, you're going to see specified point or horizontal or vertical, angular, bisect, offset. So we're going to start with horizontal. Like I explained to us in the last class, when the letters with the blue color is the command that we need to use. So if I want horizontal, I'll just type H, enter. You see, to give me horizontal line from infinity to infinity. That's how this line goes. So anywhere I want to drop this line, I'll just start clicking. It's asking me to specify the line through, right? Specify through point. So, but when you're doing your design, you already have points where you want it to be. And now you continue to click. As you are clicking, you have it continuous as you are clicking. When you're done, you right click. That ends the command. Now, if I want to do for vertical, I'll just right click, repeat. I told us in the last class, any command you just finish using, once you right click, you can repeat that command. So this time I'll type V for vertical. Vertical, you see, I'm having it vertical. So now I'm going to delete and just have just two. I want to explain when in 2D drawing, when we have to draw our first angle or third angle projection, this is how you can draw your projection lines. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave, let me erase some of them. Erase. So I'm going to leave, I'll leave just this. Now, for your angle projection, first or third angle, you have your projection line. So to do that, I'll just come back to draw. I'll come back to draw, sorry about that. I'll come back to draw construction line. This time, I want it angle. And you know when you're drawing, your projection line is always at 45 degrees. So now I'm going to type A for angle, enter. Then I'll put 45, enter. You see, now the line is at 45 degrees. It's going to, the same way we'll be doing before. Once you click, you continue until you are done. So I'll right click and end that. Then I'll trim this part off. I'll trim this part off. So I'll come to trim, select the intersect, the line that is cutting through. You know, I told you once there's an intersection, that's when you can trim. Right click and trim this part off, right? Now, this is my projection line. But if the projection line had to be down this way, that means it will be coming down this way. So remember why we use the wizard. I told you that your angle starts from east. So our east is 0. Going up anti-clockwise, that means anything coming down to the minus side will be a negative value. So now I want to put on this, let's say this first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, the fourth quadrant, I want to put the 45 degrees down this way. So all I have to do is come back to draw, come to construction line. This time I'll type angle again, enter. Then I'll now type minus 45, enter. You see now it has changed the direction. Click, right click, then I can trim this part off. You see, that is how to do that. Now, I'm going to teach us the offset. On our own, we'll go and practice the bisection, right? Because I want to be a little fast. Now we come to draw construction line. This time I'll type O, enter for offset, right? Now it's asking me for offset distance. I can put, let me put 20, enter. Any line I click now, if I click and move up, it will draw it up. If I click and move downwards, it will draw it downwards. If I click this and move sideways, you see, now you're seeing it as a continuous line. Because I trimmed it and we're using construction line now, that's why it's taking it from infinity to infinity, right? That's why you have it to infinity, from infinity to infinity. Now let me also explain. There is actually a tool in the modifying tool called offsets, right? If I, for these little ones, I mean these shorter lines, let me erase this tool that is long and use this opportunity to explain that tool offset. If you come to your modify, you come down, you see offset. Once you select offset, it will ask you for the distance. Specify offset distance. Because I used 20 before, you are seeing 20 there. But this time, let me make the difference. I'll just change to 30, enter. Now, see what will happen. If I click and move, you see, it's offsetting the exact line. Continuously, I can do as many as I want until I'm done. Now, this line that is continuous, from infinity to infinity, if I click, you see. So what the command does for offset as a tool is the actual length or the actual drawing that you have that it will do offset for. Now, that offset command, let me use polyline now to draw a box here, like we did yesterday. I'll just move and put, let me put 40 for length. I'll come up, or okay, this 40 will, I'll enlarge it for us to see so that you understand better. Then for height, I'll put 30. So I'll move this way, 40. Then type C to end it. Now let's zoom it out. Now, if I pick offset, now offset is asking me for distance. I'll put 3. Okay, now let me use 4, enter. If I click and move inward, it will draw it exactly the box, offsetting it to that distance of 4. If I click and move outward, it will draw it outward. If I click again, let me move inside continuously, it will get to a time where it can no longer, because of the size, it can no longer do that can no longer offset because the size becomes too small for the offset distance. But when you are doing for outside, it will continue. Once you are done, you just click and say that is the and end the command. So that is using construction line, and I talked about offset from there. We'll still use the offset later. I just said let me let you know that now so you don't confuse the two. Thank you. So let's continue with our let's continue. So now we're going to do some basic drawings. Then we'll go ahead and use some of these lines. Now we're talking about effective use of layers, right? Basic drawing of engineering two. Now let's start with drawing a knot head in 2D, right? Want to draw a knot head, so let's pound this away. I'll pound this away. Now, if we need to draw a knot, we have bolt and knot. Our knot head is actually drawn with a polygon, and most times we either have it as a hexagon or heptagon, right? And so I'm going to draw with hexagon now. So I'm trying to draw a knot head, basic engineering 2. Then we'll still look at some other shapes that we can actually bring out. I'm trying to see the one that we can easily get. Okay, let's do this now. First, I'll just draw the. To do this, I'll come to Polygon in Draw menu. I'll come to Polygon, click on Polygon, number of sides 6, enter, then click. It should be inscribed, enter, then radius of 5, enter. Then I'll draw a circle. So the circle said 2, radius of, let me put 3, radius of 3. You see, this is a basic representation of a 2D of a knot, right? Now, let's draw a spur gear, right? Let's draw a spur gear. To draw a spur gear, we're going to start with 2 circles, right? I'll click on circle. First one, radius, let me put radius of 50. Wow, 50 is big. They're all the same. Now, let me use the opportunity to also teach us this tool called move. The modifying tool called move. I want to move this object away from here. I'll select, right click. After erase, you see move. I'll click on move. It asks you to select base point. That's where you want to pick it from. So let me just pick it from under here and shift it away. We're going to do more of that later, especially when we're drawing in 3D to place our drawing. So we'll see more of move later in the course, in this course. So now I'm going to draw another circle, or instead, our gear teeth is because the gear teeth I want to use this to draw. So let me cancel. I'll use offset. I'll come to offset. Sorry, modify offset. I'll come to offset. Let it offset. The offset distance. Let it be 6. Enter. I'll set it in. Enter. Then I'll draw a straight line. I'll draw a line from the center of the circle to touch the circle one. Enter. Now, I'm going to offset. I'll offset this line. Click on offset. This time, my offset distance should be 2. Enter. I'll offset to the left, offset to the right. Right? Now, let me zoom this out. Okay, I think I still need to, let me still do it more so that the get it will be obvious. Then I'll now come and use my poly line from here, here. Okay, let's then repeat poly line. I'll pick it from here and here. Enter. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to trim off, right? I'm going to trim off. So I'll select trim, then select all the lines and the circle, right click. The part that I don't need, I'll start to trim them off. So this needs to go, this needs to go. Now the top, this needs to go, this needs to go. Then I'll clear the inside. So this now can't go anymore because it's not intersecting. So I'll right click, enter, then those parts that I don't need, I'll select them and erase, remove them. Then this part, erase, erase. So now I'm going to fillet this top, right? We did fillet in the last class. I'll come to fillet, modify, come down to fillet. Okay. Okay, I'll select fillet, then type R to determine my radius. I'll put 2, enter, click. Okay, I'm having a challenge here. Probably they're not joining. Now, probably they're not joining. So to make, if you're having challenges like this, you could just go ahead and use your polyline and just draw, just trace, follow suit. Then let's see if I fillet now, what will happen? You see, repeat fillet. Now, when I'm done with that, okay, I'm done, escape. So I can now erase this one out, right? Now, I'm going to go to polar array. We did array yesterday, the last class. I'll come to draw, sorry, I'm coming to modify array, polar array. Then it will ask me to select objects to array. I'll pick this, then right click and come to the middle of the circle. Then I'll increase the number of items. Let me increase to 10 and see. Oh, I need more of that. So let me say 30. Okay, I think this is 30 is too much. So let's take 25. Let's take 25. Okay. Now let's make do with this, because you know when you're actually drawing, you're supposed to use specification. You are giving, when you get your number of teeth, there's a particular calculation you do when you're doing spot gear. When you calculate, you know, the number of teeth, the ratio, right? So now, but I want to be close to it, so let me put 20 and see if I'll get the space I want. I think yes, 20 is okay. Now I don't want it to be associative because I want to modify it. The modification still continues, so I'll remove it from associative, close. Now I'll come to trim. I'll select the whole object, right click. Now I'll start to remove this part. That's the inner part now. To have my gear teeth. So we'll do that continuously so that we'll have the space. I think we're done here. Right click, enter. Well, let's see. So now let's teach us another tool. Let's see. Well, let's join them together because now they're separate. I'll join them together. I'll come to modify, and come to join. Select join and select all of them. Right click, enter. Now you see they are together. They are now a single piece. So now I have to create the whole, right? So I'll come to circle, pick the whole, let's take it to 10. Let's say it's 10 shaft that's going to pass through. Now I need to create the key. So I'll rule a line from the center. Let me move up a little, enter. Then I'll offset this line. I'll set the line. The two I used before is okay. So to my left and to my right, enter. Now I'll rule here to join this. Then I can now erase this, right? Now I'm going to trim off. So I'll select, right click, and trim this part off. There off, enter. So now this is a spur gear that we have drawn, right? It's as easy as that, using the tools to draw. So now we're going to effective use of layers, effective use of layers, right? Effective use of layers. So now let's create layers now. I taught us this one last time. So I'll just click and create layers. Well, let me just leave it as layer 1, 2, 3 for emphasis. I'll change the colors. I'll change the color for clarity for what I want to explain. You know, I told us last time that blue, I like blue. So I always start with blue whenever I'm doing my class. Okay, this is done. So now I'll make layer 1 current, then I'll switch off, right? Now, let's still come back and create a center line. The layer I'll use for center line. So then let me just call it center line. Okay, sorry, I missed that. So I'll right click, rename, center line. Okay, so I'll come to line type and make sure, so I'll load like I showed us because the first time I'm coming here, select all, say okay, so I don't need to do that second time. I'll select center line 2, okay. Then I'll make this current. Let me right click on set as current and close. This time I'll come to line. Now I'm going to use the construction line to draw since I didn't start it with that, let me use the construction line to draw the center of the circle. First, I'll take horizontal, enter. So click, right click, repeat construction line, V for vertical, enter. So now I will not draw a box around just to trim off, because you know the center line is not supposed to be infinity to infinity. This box is just to help me in trimming. You see, it's still showing me construction line. So what I'll now simply do, I want to change the property of this. I want to change the property of this now. The property of the line now is the center line property. So I'll select it, come to my layers. Let me change it to the first layer blue. You see, I've changed the property of that layer. Then I'll trim off. But mind you, it's not the one that is current. I just changed the property of the layer. So now, let me trim off first. So I'll come to trim. I'll select the rectangle, the rectangle I've drawn, right click. So I'll trim off this so that I can have that space. Enter. Now, I've drawn this. So, you know, when you do your construction work, all the layers you use in doing your construction lines doesn't necessarily have to appear in your drawing, right? So this that I've used to trim now, I used the layer that I call layer 2 to draw. So when you're done with your drawing, if I don't want any, but before I do that now, my spur gear, let me change the properties of it. I'll select it. You see the property that I was used to draw is the layer 0. So I'll come and select layer 3. I've changed the property. Now I'll make my layer 1 current by selecting the name. So it's my layer 1 that is active now. I don't want this box to be showing in my drawing, right? But I don't want to delete it. So I'll come to my layers and come to the bulb on layer 2 and switch it off. You see, it disappeared, but it's not deleted. If I come back and switch on the layer, you see it comes back. So I'll switch it off. Now, every other drawing I've drawn here, I don't want them to show apart from my gears and, okay, let me say the knot. So this knot now, I have to change the property of this knot. I'll select it, then come and let it take the property of layer 3. So now, I don't want any other thing to show apart from just these 3 objects, the center line. Okay, the key and the hole for connecting the gear, I have not changed that. It has to be the same property with this, but let me join it first. The way I join the gears teeth. So I'll come here. Now I'll come to modify, I'll come to join. Then I'll select it the same way I did before to do the gear, right click. So it's now an entity on its own. Then I'll select this and come and change the layer, right? So fine. Now I want to switch off so that all this my construction line will not appear in my drawing. Even this offset will not appear in my drawing. So I'll come now and switch off the layer 0 with which I used to draw. Then you can see that is the only thing showing now. So now I want to do this. I'm going to select this and this. Let me copy. I'll copy selection. Let me pick it from the middle and bring here. Sorry, I don't want to do that method. Let me undo. I need to carry with the center line. There is something I want to show us. I'll carry all, right click. So copy selection. I'll pick it from here. And okay, let me join it somewhere here. There's something I want to explain now. Enter. So I want to explain scale, right? I want to scale this. Now, when you say 1:2, that means 1 times 2, you are actually enlarging. When you say 1:0.5, you are actually reducing in AutoCAD. So I want to reduce this. Let this be, I can increase or reduce, but let me reduce this. I'll select the 2. Then I'll come to modify and come to scale. Scale. It asks me to select a scale point. I'll select the middle. This time it's asking me scale factor. I want to reduce it, right? I want to reduce. So I'll put 0.5. You see, it has reduced it. Now, in AutoCAD, if you want to increase, you have to put 1.5. It will increase it by 0.5. If I want to increase it to 2, I'll just put 2, 3, 4, it will increase. So now I'm going to use move. I'll select move. I want to bring it so that it will not act as the drive. So let's see. Oh, okay. Let me not do it this way. And okay, let me bring, because the scaling I've done now, you see, if I bring it close, it will not match, right? It's okay. Let me just put it like this. But you see, it depends on your drive or your design, right? It depends on your design when you're setting your gear teeth together. All this you have to do with calculation. I'm just teaching us how to use the tool to draw them, right? I didn't do any calculation here. You need to do your rough calculation first before you take your dimensions. And as we go on, we'll be doing our drawing, some of them with dimensions. Then when we come to some basic exercises we'll do later, we'll do our calculation and use the dimension. Right. Thank you. This will be all for the class. Thank you very much and thank you for listening. We'll continue from here in our next class. Thank you.